Welcome, everyone, to the launch of TECHNOLOchicas 5.0. My name is Yvonne de la Peña, and I lead the TECHNOLOchicas initiative at the National Center for Women and Information Technology, NCWIT. I want to thank you in advance for your attendance and your patience should we have any broadband or other technical difficulties. TECHNOLOchicas is a national initiative from NCWIT and Televisa, designed to highlight and celebrate the diverse stories of Latinas persevering and succeeding in technology. Intended as a strategy to address the challenge of increasing young Latinas' awareness, interest, and participation in technology, TECHNOLOchicas brings positive role models into the houses and homes of Latinx students and their families, as well as their schools and communities. And they do this through media campaigns, events, and educational resources. Visibility is a key aspect of this initiative. Young Latinas cannot be what they cannot see. As such, TECHNOLOchicas uses several platforms to shine a spotlight on the experiences and the stories of the TECHNOLOchicas ambassadors, such as social media campaigns, conference presentations, periodicals, sorry about that, and videos in Spanish and English that serve as public service announcements. Today, we are celebrating the TECHNOLOchicas ambassadors of our latest campaign, TECHNOLOchicas 5.0. And we're super excited for you to meet them. As a Latina in tech myself, TECHNOLOchicas is an initiative very close to my heart. But let's hear more about why TECHNOLOchicas is needed from those that make it possible.
Hello, Yvonne. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Terry Hogan, and I'm the president and CTO at the National Center for Women and Information Technology. And I am absolutely pleased to be here. So thrilled. TECHNOLOchicas is a wonderful part of NCWIT and couldn't be more proud to be a part of this launch today. I am myself also a technologist with a degree in computer science, and I worked for more than 20 years in information security, network engineering, and technology intelligence. And I am so impressed by the women that we're going to be honoring today and celebrating today. NCWIT is a nonprofit organization. We were founded in 2004 with a grant from the National Science Foundation. And our mission is to increase the meaningful and influential participation of women of all intersecting identities in the field of computing. And TECHNOLOchicas is an incredibly important part of that mission. Computing, as you know, is one of the most powerful and influential fields shaping society today. Yet women are severely underrepresented, significantly impeding their power and influence as innovators, leaders, and researchers in shaping the future. We at NCWIT are dedicated to increasing the numbers of women in this space. And today, I am thankful to be able to be a part of this launch. I want to extend my gratitude as well to our sponsors, Qualcomm, AT&T, Microsoft, and Apple for their continued support of this initiative. And I can't wait to celebrate the women here today. Thank you. I think Valentina, you are up next.
Yes. Hi, thank you. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Yvonne. We are very, very excited to be with you today. This is, I think, already the fifth campaign that we're doing together in NCWIT with Televisa Foundation, and we're very, very proud to be your partners. So my name is Valentina Delgado. I am the leader of TECHNOLOchicas in Televisa Foundation. Televisa Foundation, in collaboration with local organizations in the US, we offer workshops and site visits to women and girls in the Latinx community to allow hands-on exploration in the STEM fields and in-person experience with women in STEM careers. We strongly believe that the Latinx community should have more possibilities to dream about what they can become in areas of study that can reverse situations of poverty and be granted skills and knowledge that enable them to contribute to a more economically sound and diverse country. The program has taken place in New York, Boston, San Antonio, Houston, Phoenix, Los Angeles, and had introduced approximately 200 Latina girls to the professional world of science, technology, engineering, and math. And why is TECHNOLOchicas important? Well, because science and technology are the leading sectors in creating the solutions that right now we are facing as a humanity. Those all voices need to be heard, and TECHNOLOchicas is part of that effort. So right now we're gonna see the trailer that highlights the TECHNOLOchicas of this campaign. And just a little note that all the individual videos of each TECHNOLOchica with their message to the families, to teachers, to the girls, it's going to be available by the end of November. Follow please on social media, and then we'll keep you posted about it. So can we see the trailer? Thank you.
I just wanted to check and make sure our trailer host was able to get their screen shared. Do we need to make that possible on the tech side? Yvonne, is it your screen?
No, it's actually, it is screen.
Oh, okay. Edie, are you able to get your screen shared?
She must really be having technical difficulties.
I am
Yeah.
so sorry. I will do that again. I thought I shared it correctly. Again, apologies for the technical difficulty. Shall I start it again?
Yeah, we were not able to see it.
I am so sorry for that.
That's okay. Thanks.
I would describe technology as fun, challenging, innovative, and different.
What led me to a career in computer science was basically that internship where I was able to see that I could, from a very small place, create this mobile app and impact a lot of people.
I worked in Seattle, but I live in Puerto Rico, so I'm a remote worker. It's important for us to know the perks and the benefits that a technology career gives us. They don't care about where you're sitting right now, they just care about the work that you do and what you know. So it's important for you to know that there is a lot of opportunities within the technology career. No matter where you are in the globe, there is a spot for you.
You can have it all. You can have a career, you can have a family, you can have hobbies, you can live on a farm and be a software engineer. You can have it all.
For me, technology and engineering was that door that for me opened this world of opportunities where I had the chance to go to other countries around the world. What matters is finding that one place where you feel in your gut that you can be your authentic self.
I wanted to be a TECHNOLOchica because I love helping others and I like having a positive impact in people's lives. And through this program, I'm able to do that for Latino girls in the community.
When I found out about this, I was going through a point where I didn't know if I wanted to continue studying computer science, but their words of encouragement and really inspired me to be more empowered. That helped me see that it's possible and that I shouldn't give up.
You are needed. We need diversity in technology. We need more girls in technology. And what they bring to the table serves all of us. In order for technology to work for everyone, everyone needs to participate in building it. And that includes all types of everyone.
It doesn't matter what your story is.
In technology, there is a place for you.
I am Latina and I love technology.
Isn't our TECHNOLOchicas Ambassadors fantastic? Okay, so joining us today, we also have some of our sponsors. Like Terry said, thank you so very much for your continued support. TECHNOLOchicas will not be possible without you. And so today, here to share a few words, we have Mayra from AT&T and Marisela from Qualcomm. Mayra, if you wanna, yes.
Thank you, Yvonne, and good afternoon to all. This is very exciting. And my name is Mayra Cáceres. Yo soy colombiana, and I have a degree in electronics engineering from Colombia. And then I came to the US and got my master's in engineering. And I joined AT&T after that. I've been with AT&T for almost 25 years. And we at AT&T and Hacemos, the Hispanic Association of Employees, Latino Hispanic employees, we love TECHNOLOchicas because we want to see more of you. We want to see more chicas, more girls in technology and engineering. At Hacemos, that's what we do to mentor students, to expose them to technology. And technology is all around us. And we want to be part of those creating it, making it better, innovating, not just using it. And we need a women's brain. We need to use all our skills in these fields. And that's why we love partnering with TECHNOLOchicas. This job is very important to get more girls in STEM. As an engineer at AT&T, I've had an amazing career and opportunities doing very different things in these 25 years in network planning, service development, working in our mobility networks. Now we're developing 5G. I have worked in cloud computing, virtualization. As an engineer, you can do it all. And as the previous messages said, it gives you amazing flexibility. Of getting doing it all from wherever you are. Like today we're connected virtually. So thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, TECHNOLOchicas, for this great program. And we look forward to hosting some of you at our AT&T locations. I'll see some of you in New Jersey in person at our event in November. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayra, for those words. And yes, we are definitely going to see you, especially me, in New Jersey. And just to mention to our audience, so the TECHNOLOchicas Ambassadors have been doing or will be doing workshops, events for high school students with the support of AT&T. And now, Marisela, thank you for being here as well.
Gracias por la invitación. Hola, bienvenidos. I am extremely excited to be here yet again for another TECHNOLOchicas launch. My name is Marisela Alberto. I am a senior legal specialist at Qualcomm, managing litigation cases and investigations. I do work with technology to get through all the data and make sure that our attorneys have the information to either prosecute or defend our cases. I also have to share that one of my proudest moments was being president of our Latin Q inclusion group at Qualcomm and securing our company's commitment to hire retain, and celebrate our Latinx employees. So yay! And that's one of the reasons why we're here today. And we love partnering with NCWIT and TECHNOLOchicas because their mission really aligns with what our core values, and because there's a really disproportionate need of more Latinas in STEM careers. So we need you. We are also a global company. We're headquartered in San Diego with over 40 locations worldwide. So our company is made up of inventors with diverse skills and backgrounds, just like you. We're committed to keep building that pipeline of diverse talent via our diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, like our employee-led inclusion groups for Blacks, women, LGBTQA+, that's a mouthful, people with disabilities, and Latinx. These groups are so instrumental in connecting and supporting our local communities around the globe. Plus, Qualcomm employees are also enabling the world where everyone and everything can be intelligently connected. So I think majority of you interact with products and technologies that are made possible by Qualcomm. For example, that electronic device, this little thing, that you can't leave home without is your smartphone. And yes, we have some wearables as well. They're integral part of everyday lives that we can't live without. Again, these have our technologies, so you might not be aware of, but it's the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, cameras to take your selfies and videos, right? Even the live streaming that's making today's TECHNOLOchica launch possible. And just in a few years, when you are legally able to drive, you'll also have autonomous cars. But we're not just in smartphone devices that we use here on planet Earth. Did you actually know that Qualcomm Snapdragon also powered the NASA helicopter on Mars? Yeah, isn't that so incredible that our company, Qualcomm Technologies, and NASA JPL had one of the greatest collaborations in space flight history with the very first autonomous flight on Mars. So that's pretty cool. And that's why I really love our company that's uniting us together, right, in this technology world. I'll place the link in the chat if you're interested in watching the video. But I also wanted to share that I personally have a strong connection to TECHNOLOchica. They're a family to me. I'm a first generation American here, and I grew up in a low income family. I was a teen parent of not one, but 2 kids by the age of 15. So I had to overcome many obstacles, including immigration barriers, to get where I am today. But I didn't really let that stop me, right? I've been working at Qualcomm for 14 years. This is a tech company who really values my contributions and has provided me the opportunity to advocate for my Latinx colleagues and our community. In hindsight, I really wish that TECHNOLOchicas existed back in my early years, because I think I would have become an engineer myself. But it's great that it's here for you. So really take advantage and don't be discouraged by your situation. So if I did it, you can too. So with that, I will hand it over to Yvonne. Gracias.
Gracias, Marisela. Thank you so much for those words of encouragement and support. Okay, and so now we are going to get to meet the TECHNOLOchicas Ambassadors. Latina leaders in technology showing the world that tech is for chicas. I want to encourage the audience to share their questions on the Q&A panel, and you can do that using the Zoom icon at the bottom of your screen. We will try and get to your questions, as many as we can, but we'll see. Okay, so Josephine Vargas-Rivera is Director of Technology at AT&T, where she leads several cybersecurity teams, including ethical hackers. This ensures that their users and systems are safe. Josie, in the trailer and in your videos, you have this phrase that I just absolutely love. You say, technology needs to be made by all types of everyone. I just like that phrase so much. And so I wonder if you can tell us a little bit more about that and how that connects to your participation in TECHNOLOchicas.
First of all, thank you so much for having me. I am so honored to be a TECHNOLOchica. Probably one of my warmest moments of my career participating as part of this program, honestly. Very powerful effort. I love the question, and I'm happy to dive into why I think it's so critical that we have diversity in technology. As one of the presenters mentioned, there's no industry that I can think of off the top of my head right now that will not be radically transformed by technology or is currently being transformed by technology. So in order for technology to serve all the different communities that it supports, think about how we integrate technology even within government and enterprise spaces. It serves a lot of people. I mean, when I reflect on AT&T's website and the millions of customers that visit our site and the diversity of the customers that visit our site, I can't imagine a software development shop that wouldn't want to encourage diversity when the people are, and the people that are designing and coding to support it. So that way, the people working on the project will have a closer and deeper understanding of the communities that they serve because they have representation on the team and within the organization so that we are sensitive to the needs of those communities. So in order for technology to serve all of us, it has to be built by all of us. Yvonne, did I lose audio? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, definitely, Josie. Thank you so much. Valentina, you're here, right?
Thank you, Josephine. Yeah. I'm here. I'm gonna leave my camera open. So now, Nery, can you please put on your camera so I can introduce you? So Nery, Lara Mancia. So as a girl, Nery, you didn't believe that college was an option, no? And today you are a software engineer at Qualcomm. You have graduated from UC Santa Barbara with a major in computer science, and you have completed an internship at the Air Force Research Laboratory. Nery, we wanted to ask you, so what is your favorite thing about having career in technology?
Hello, everyone. So I think my favorite thing about having a career in technology is that I get to solve problems on an everyday basis. So whether it is creating new features or creating new functionalities, as well as troubleshooting and fixing existing issues in my team, or improving and working on other people's legacy code, they all require critical thinking skills that I enjoy applying. And to me, that's very rewarding.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Nery. Lara Robles works as an IT analyst at Caterpillar. She moved with her family from Mexico to Arizona when she was a young Latina. In 2021, she graduated from the University of Arizona with a degree in cyber operations, forensics, and defense. Laura, I have to confess, you were very brave when we were filming your videos. You were so brave to share with us your feelings about being a Tecnolochica and the support that you had. And there is one video where we have an interview with your parents. And every time I watch that video, my heart just totally melts. But I want to ask you if you could share with us a little bit more about that moment when you felt like you didn't belong in technology, and what happened? What helped you overcome that feeling?
Okay, couldn't unmute. Yes, so when I went into my first year in college, I was very excited. I chose to study computer science, and everything was going fine. But then like halfway through, I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want to do this. I felt very discouraged, and I felt like this wasn't the major that I was supposed to do, and even in the future to work in that field, because I felt very overwhelmed. I felt like I didn't know enough, and kind of starting to compare myself with other people that probably had more resources in high school and that were a little bit more ahead of me. And I started getting into my head like, oh, this is not for me. There was very few women too, so I kind of felt alone at times. And there was a point where I was like, I'm going to get out of this major and find a different career. And I was very close to quitting, not getting out of college, but finding a different career path for myself. But then I started thinking, like, no, I want to do technology, and maybe I'm not a straight A student right now, or maybe I'm not getting the perfect score that I want, but that doesn't mean that I don't belong here. And even though I was one of the few women in my classroom, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't be there. Like that we're there because there's a place for us. Right now, maybe there's not a lot, but in the future, hopefully it's going to be equal. And I started thinking, okay, well, maybe I don't know as much as my other classmates, but that's why I'm here in college, because I'm here to learn, and I'm here to learn these skills that I really want to learn so that in the future I can work in that field. And I ended up switching from computer science, but then I found this other major called cyber operations, which was more what I wanted to do initially, which was cybersecurity. And before switching, I took a couple classes, and then I found like, oh, this is actually something that I'm really interested and really challenging, which is what I wanted. And even though it wasn't easy, it was still in the same field. And even though there was not a lot of women there either, I kind of felt like, okay, this is a place for me, and don't feel discouraged. And even now in the workplace, I just started working a year ago full time. There's times where I do feel like, oh, like I shouldn't be here, or I don't know enough. Like I feel like I'm not at the same level as my coworkers. But the only thing that I can tell myself is I went to school and to learn, and I'm here at work to also continue to learn and grow those skills, because that's what technology is about. It's always changing and it's always evolving. So you as a person also have to evolve your skills. So if you feel alone, or you feel like, oh, this is too hard for me, don't give up, and don't feel discouraged. We are all here to learn, and every day we're gonna continue to learn and go over the overcome those obstacles that come in our way, and just tell ourselves that we are smart, we are intelligent, and we deserve to be there.
Laura, wow, thank you so much for that. I think a lot of people can relate with that. Thank you for sharing it. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Melinda. So Melinda Vargas Ramos was born in Mayagüez in Puerto Rico, is a business and systems analyst at SSS Salud. From research mentor to software developer, she's done a lot, including building an app to reduce hazards. I just wanted a little message for the audience. If you guys have any questions for any of our Technolchicas, please just write it on the chat and we can include them in our questions. make it a bit more collaborative. But yeah, Melinda, we wanted to ask you, so and following also on what Laura told us, I don't know, was there ever a time in your life when you thought that a career in technology maybe wasn't for you? And do you think there's a misconception that people may have about careers in technology?
Thank you there for that lovely intro. And first off, I wanted to thank everybody that's participating today. I must admit that I am very impressed and grateful that I have a lot of peers and colleagues on the call. So thank you for that. And I do incentivize that you please do put in the Q&A. That way we can answer your questions. So yeah, as to the question that you just asked there, I would say that as you were able to hear, I've been able to play different roles in technology. And yeah, at times it's like you might feel that there are certain prototypes of how you need to be, how you need to project yourself. Usually you see, or you think of technology and immediately you think that you need to have people who are very geek-like, or people who like video games. And then you, all of a sudden you see all these different roles that you can play in it. Or let's say you needed to be very, very good at math, and that was it. And if you were a math person, then you had to go into a specific field. But realistically, what I am able to see, that there is a misconception of what we look like if we're in the technology industry, or what type of other things that we can enjoy and balance in life. In reality, we're all a huge team of people. So you can do the video games aspect of it. You can go into improving different systems that are of everyday use. Like one of the initial participants indicated, we do have our phones with us, we do have wearables, things like that, we're always the consumer, but we could also be the people who improve the systems. So there is that misconception of you need to look like a specific thing, you need to like certain things. And at the end of the day, we are all consumers. So why not make the technology of more use to us? And why not shy away from that team collaboration, and more look at these other people who are the subject matter experts in the different areas and make larger and greater things, because it's not about you need to come up with the idea yourself, or you need to become this persona in order for you to achieve a career in technology. So that's what I would say, that it's a misconception. And also there is no linear path of how you get started. That's one of the key aspects of it. I actually studied computer mathematics. And when I say that, it's people sometimes I have a negative reaction. And then you hear all these other roles that I've been able to do with that, that I'd say you also learn from your peers, and you start to see where your strengths are in and where you want to lead that. And at times it's not right from the start when you think of what you need to study. You don't need to know right away, and you don't need to know where you're going to right away. You're going to see that as you gain experience and as you collaborate overall, you will be able to achieve an awesome career in technology and have a work-life balance. So that would be my answer there. Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda. Thank you for those great words. Definitely, paths are never straight line. Melissa Delgado-Martinez is an engineering program manager at Microsoft Digital Privacy team. But she is also a cyber hygiene and privacy specialist. And she is currently writing a book in Spanish to serve as a resource for those who want to learn about this field. Melissa, definitely cybersecurity is such an important subject right now. And so I want to ask you, how do you keep your skills up to date? Technology, it changes so rapidly. And like I said, cybersecurity now, so important. How do you do it?
Yeah, well, thank you for the opportunity for us to have this spot and let everybody know how is it to be in the technology. First and foremost, for those who cannot see me, I am a Latina with brown hair, and today I'm wearing a little bit of a big earrings. So answering your question, Yeah, cybersecurity is something that is evolving every time we look to the side. So it is important for us to keep up aware and prepare about that. The necessity for my Latino community was that there was no specific word of mouth about cybersecurity in our own Spanish language. And when I did some research, there was a lot of information, but in English. There was not much on my native language, which was Spanish. So I take it upon myself to learn a little bit more and know how to translate that into words and verbiage that people will understand, because most of the things are super technical and not the normal moms and pops or grandmas will be able to digest that kind of information. So I took it upon myself to make sure that the wording was like that. How do I keep up? I mean, technology is moving super fast. So it is important for us to make sure that we are part of a community, that we also know that there are resources out there that we can be part of newsletters. We also attend tech talks, everything. Now we are in the digital world. So there's a lot of things that we could definitely tap into to keep ourselves up to date. Also make sure that we are part of community giving out to the community. There are so many things that we have in the technology business as women, as Latinas, that sometimes we can see things from other angles that are important to bring into the conversation. So for cybersecurity, as well as a mom, as a female, there are things that are super important for us to know and convey to the general public. So for me, it's more than just a role. It's a commitment to my community to make sure that I am up to speed in everything that is going within the cybersecurity, so I will be able to translate in a way that everybody would understand in their own language. Back to you.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for that. And it is true, you know, like we take for granted, no, that maybe all of the information out there that we are digesting all the time is in English, no, but like we need to have everything like produced in a way that everybody can understand it. So thank you for that. So now I'm going to introduce to Ruth Vela. Ruth is the Director of Global Technology Experience at Nextiva. Before that, she led the international expansion of a Mexican telecom startup. And now she's in Phoenix and she's leading programs to engage global engineering teams. Ruth, thank you so much for being with us today. What I want to preguntarte, what I want to ask you is, what advice would you give to any student that's trying to figure it out if a career in technology is for them, and also why did you want it to be part of why do you want it to be a TECHNOLOCHICA?
Thank you very much. Those are great questions. First of all, thank you to everybody that is showing up today. I love that. Yo soy mexicana, and well, I'm really happy to be talking to you and to hear from you. So what advice could I give to someone that does not know if technology is where they should go? Well, the first thing that I would say is that technology is huge. Like it's a universe of different things that you can do when you choose a career in technology. As you have seen and heard from our fantastic panelists, each of us have a different path. And even when we chose a specific degree to follow, what we end up doing today might be quite different. Technology is basically, I think if you go to Wikipedia and search for technology, it basically it translates to the processes, the steps to solve a problem. So basically everything. And now today, in a world driven by technology, really understanding how technology works, or a part of technology, is going to help you as a superpower as you engage in this world. Even if you decide to go into lawmaking or become a doctor, I have a really, really good friend. He is a pediatrician, and he decided to do his master's in technology, in IT, so that he can serve better his patients and everybody around him. So I would say that I hope that you find a career, but also there are so many options. So look into that, but don't get overwhelmed. The other thing is that there is no a path already crafted. You create your own path by just taking the first step, then the second one, and so on. So I just want to encourage you to choose a career in technology. Now, as a Latina and me, for example, I come from Mexico. I moved to the US 6 years ago. I have to say that the reason why I chose a career in technology, for me, it was telematics, telecommunication engineering, was because I wanted to have real job opportunities with good salary so that I could afford my, travel dreams. And I was able to do that by pursuing a career in tech. And then it's not only about that. Again, like while you are, after you getting to tech, then you start crafting your own path. For me, as was mentioned, right now what I do is that I create global programs to engage engineering teams for our company. And so also, look at the job market, look at what are the jobs that we need to have. Cybersecurity, for example, is one of them. The amount of positions open for cybersecurity is really, really big compared to the people that can actually solve cybersecurity problems. So look into that as you look for what career to go to. And then just know that once you choose a career or once you choose a degree, that doesn't mean that that's the end of it. Why am I part of TECHNOLOchicas? Well, I am Latina, I am Mexican, Mexicana, and I just really, really want to somehow be able to share my story, share my experience, and let other Latinas know that you can also, do it. I'm not a superhero. I'm not, a phenomenal human. I am not. And so I just want to share what has been my experience so that maybe that can help you as you choose how to go about your life and also your career. And also I want to make sure that more Latinas know and have access to financial autonomy. And for me, that technology has given me that. So I'm really proud of being a TECHNOLOchica and really, really, really looking forward to learn more from you and your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth, for sharing that. I do remember you mentioning in your videos that being a technologist gave you superpowers. So students, if you want superpowers, choose a career in technology. I do want to ask if Zaida is here with us today. Okay, so unfortunately, it seems like she was not able to join us, but I do want to tell you about her. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. So Zaida is an aerospace engineer at NASA Johnson Space Center, where she currently supports the Artemis program. After graduating from the University of Houston, Zaida started at NASA as an intern. She was then hired full-time in 2017. And recently, she was promoted. This is why I wanted so much to share with you her info, even if she wasn't able to join us today, because I found out that she was recently promoted to Orion Assistant Chief Engineer. And so I'm so proud to know Zaida and to have it as part of our TECHNOLOchicas Ambassador. And so Valentina, next is up to you.
Thank you, Yvonne. And we will have, well, I said it in the beginning, but like the the small capsules, like telling all of the stories of our ambassadors, are going to be available by the end of the month. So you can also like get to know Zaida, no? So now I want to introduce Ali Guarneros Luna. I saw that you were around there. So Ali is a NASA aerospace engineer who grew up in Mexico reading about space missions. Today, she works on satellites and manages the Tipping Points program at the Space Technology Mission Directorate. Ali, thank you so much for being with us today. I see that there are no questions from the audience, but like if you want later, I still encourage all the audience to ask if you have any specific question for any of our ambassadors. Ali, I wanted to ask you how can the families, parents, teachers, mentors can support students' interest in a career in technology?
I think that the way that we can actually support students who are interested on technology is to make sure that they don't have boundaries on, what they want to do. I grew up in Mexico. I was, I'm Mexican too. And when I was growing up, there was a lot of, boundaries of what I can do as a woman, right? Or as a girl. However, my mother and my father too were not thinking of that way. They were always letting me do what I wanted to do. I had two younger brothers. And so if my brothers were helping my father doing mechanics, I was there too doing the mechanics. And if my mother, was cooking, who would be my brothers and me, doing the cooking. So it really starts at a very young age when you start defining that, the roles that you society put into women, they start really falling apart, when, from your childhood, your parents are actually motivating you to do things that are not considered by the society to be women roles. And then when they go to school, be able to help them and approach them to like robotics or science or technology, and then actually get them to do tours or or be able to go to some of the facilities where these tech companies have, because most of them, they do have not museums, but they have places where they're open and kids and families can actually go and see what they're doing. Especially where I am living, which is the Silicon Valley. A lot of the industry over there is open. They have opened some areas where people can actually go and you can actually see from your eyes and be able to imagine yourself being there. And so that is very transformative, especially in the Hispanic, or culture, and also in the woman, right? When you are able to see yourself in places like these. And as you go growing up, you already have it in your mind that you will be somewhere doing something at, these kind of companies. And so that opportunity is definitely something that we should encourage our young generation to be able to see. And also having forums like this where you can have women that are Latinas and they represent different sectors of the technology, and we can actually say, we're doing this, you can also do it, right? And be representative. And I think that is very important for our young generations, future, engineers and scientists, that they will be solving very difficult problems that we're going to have in the future. And, and having them to be part of something like this is important. So I really thank you, TECHNOchicas, for having something like this that really will inspire the students and the next generations.
Thank you. Thank you for being here with us, Ali. I know you are traveling right now. Well, we have the program, but you all TECHNOLOchicas ambassadors as telling your stories and sharing your experience. That's what really inspires our students. So we do have some questions from the audience. But before we do that, before we go back to posing these questions, we have a very special guest with us today. we have one of our students, perhaps a future TECHNOLOchica. She is joining us today to ask a question to our TECHNOLOchicas ambassadors. And I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Welcome, Athena.
Hi, everyone. My name is Athena Hernandez. I'm currently a high school senior from San Diego. My dad is from Mexico, and so I grew up in a very bicultural household. But as a student who loves anything related with computer science, I have a few questions for the whole panelists because you guys are very, very amazing. And it's really nice to see that there are more Latinas in tech than I realized, because in classes, especially in my computer science classes, I'm literally the only one. So as Ruth mentioned, the technology and the mundo de technology is so big and vast. So I'm really curious how each of you guys navigated through that world specifically to find the job that you have today. Like, for example, like Ali, I don't know how you decided that working on satellites was your breach from technology. So that's my question.
So I can answer, for me, actually, I was not thinking that I was going to do satellites. I was more about getting a diploma, a degree, something that it will, give me a work, doing something that I will think that I would like. And so I was able to get an education at a public education and then be able to apply for an internship. And the internship was, there. And just like you, actually, I was the only Latina, there were only 3 women, and I was the only Latina in the whole class for aerospace engineering at the school. So sometimes it felt very lonely, but at many ways, I almost also felt that, I was special because I was there and I was only the few, right? And so I see that as an opportunity to encourage myself to, like, I can do what I need to do because I'm here, and I can move along. So, and reach the career that I wanted, and obviously, be able to get a job at NASA.
Thank you.
Melinda, I see you have your hand raised.
Yep. Hi there. Thank you for being so brave and for asking the question yourself here. It's very, very nice to see a young woman in technology and asking questions that we all had at one point. So to your question of what my answer would be is internships are awesome. That's how you'll be able to see and get yourself into like the vocabulary and the whole experience to know where you'd like to go. An example was one of the first things on how I actually got into the whole technology industry was through a UCLA internship. And that's where I created first a phone app. And there I hadn't even been exposed fully to like programming. Now you're there. And after that, it was like the way I got into the actual workforce industry. It was they had a scholarship/internship at a programming company back in Puerto Rico. So I would say that having to give yourself the opportunity to apply and actually be there is what will also guide you to know what vocabulary you would also like to acquire, or the work environment, let's say. So it's a little bit kind of hard sometimes when you're in the school mentality where you think that you need to know everything. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't want to get into a specific field or not until I know everything about it. But as I'm pretty sure you already know, with technology is a continuous study. So just throw yourself out there to apply for internships. And I think that will get you a head start also when you actually apply for a full-time job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda. And thank you, Athena, for joining us. What a great question. Okay, so we're going to move on to questions from the audience. We have been requested if the TECHNOLOchicas will please all come on camera.
I have, can you see me? Yvonne, can you hear me and see me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I can answer the first question. I know that there is what can we all do to help advance more Latinas in technology? If you don't mind, I can definitely take that one. I think we need to bring not even females, but also we need to bring Latinas to the classroom. So that is the first thing that we need to do whenever we are trying. I definitely know that most of the people know our male scientists or our male counterparts in technology, but bring to the classroom the Nicole Hernandez Hammer, bring Ana Roque de Duprey, bring the Adriana Ocampos, and bring the Lydia Villacomarov. It's very important for us to see ourselves in the areas that we are being taught. So bring Latinas, bring females to the classroom. That will be part of it. Also bring Latinas into the conversation if you're a parent. It is important for us to have role models, and hopefully there's perhaps a little bit of that what we are doing right now, just making sure that people can see our faces and can relate to either or of our experiences and backgrounds as well. We want us to be there and be seen as Latinas that could be definitely successful and also can balance the work life and continue putting our own flags in front of everybody. So how can we advance more Latinas in technology? Let's start with the beginning. Just put it in the classroom, put them in the conversations, and ensure that whenever you make decisions, you make decisions focused on what is your future. Make sure that you have opportunities for your kids, for yourself, if you are a student hearing this, or if you're a parent or a teacher, that you're looking for ways to provide opportunities to these Latinas for them to grow in the technology environment. Organizations such as this one, NCWEED, AIC, TECHNOLOchicas as well. These are nonprofit organizations that are out there just to make sure that they have the opportunities that for other reasons they might not. So make sure that you leverage those and include them in these kinds of activities.
So I just want to add, sorry, Yvonne, I just want to add that, to piggyback on that, let's break stereotypes. Like right now, we're all Latinas, we are all women, but we are also really different. And then to people like me, to these fellow Latinas right here, let's pay it forward. And how do we do that? By giving people opportunities and also guidance. I say that the reason why I'm here is because someone took a chance. I showed up and then they guided me, they gave me feedback, and I continue. Now, not all feedback is going to be the feedback that you want, or some people might have a different idea of what you should do. So then also follow your gut instinct. Like, there's different paths, and then just go and follow your instinct. And remember that in technology, there is a place for everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ruth. Ali, I know that you may have to drop off, but do you have a few minutes to answer the question? Okay, she may have left us already. Anybody else wants to share their thoughts? We do have another question, but we do have a few minutes still.
I know that Josephine wanted the second question, so I'm not sure if Josephine is there.
I am. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
The question that we got is, can you please highlight some of the secrets to success that you have discovered along your career? Secrets to success. You're participating in one of them already, which is connect with others. It is very powerful, especially early on in your career or even as a student, for you to connect with a mentor that either works in technology, can help you give insight about the industry, maybe has your dream job. And I know we might get nervous about reaching out and connecting with someone, for mentoring. And these forums are great opportunities for you to find, identify, and maybe reach out to a mentor so you're already on the right track. So definitely one of the keys to success is connecting with a group of individuals that's going to support you. I'll share with you all my personal stories. I was born in Puerto Rico, and when I was 7 years old, I lived in Orlando and New York. My parents traveled a lot for their jobs, But my mom didn't speak English, and she was the primary school parent, if you will. So it was really tough for her to, give guidance about technology and science. So I needed to build myself a support network. So, my cousins and I would get together, and my dad was, really into technology. So, just surrounding yourself with people that will support you on your journey. And if they're not built into your family, great news is you can hire ones that are available out on the market like us. Every single woman on this panel, I promise you, would, love to support women in technology at any, capacity. When possible. So, I just want to share with you that any woman that's working in this space, we all want to drive, other women and pull other women up, to bring them along in their career and, and set them up for success. So number one career tip I would share with you guys is build yourself a support network. Number two, I want to replace the word failure for you guys and call it learning. Okay. When you fail and when you're building technology and you run your code and it doesn't work, or you're learning a new emerging technology, or cloud, what's this? And learning about new spaces, because think about it. Think about the transformation of the technology itself. A couple of years back, we had radio and TV, and it's accelerating, right? Now we're, our entire lives are being connected, which is really exciting for a technologist, in terms of career. So, as you look at technology, don't think of like failure within the context of learning new technology as failure. That's learning. So just replace that word in your mind. And that's going to be very powerful for you, because it can be discouraged. You can be discouraged when things don't work out your way, or, you didn't get the grade you wanted in a particular exam, but that will just empower you, right? If you have the right mindset. Everything is about mindset. If it will empower you, instead of looking at that as a failure, you're like, I need to try again and learn harder. So that will set you up for success. And the last one that I'll share with you guys is secret sauce, is let the work that you do speak for itself. Sometimes in a room, we've made great progress for women in technology. I promise you, we're making great progress. But programs like this, and why all the panelists that are here today, is because we still have more work to do, right? We still have a lot more work to do. So, we might sometimes walk into a room that, you might not feel always welcome, or you might not feel included, or you might not feel that you belong, right? We all get that imposter syndrome. So, focus on letting your work speak for itself. When you focus on delivering with excellence, that work will represent you and speak louder than any words that you can say in that room, whether you feel welcome or not. So I just want to encourage you guys to push forward, because you guys are the future leaders, future women in technology. Hopefully you guys are participating in a panelist like this one and pulling the next generation of women technologists forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessie, for those kind words. I always tell students, if your code works the very first time that you wrote it, then you are not challenging yourself. Athena, you're still here with us, and I know you want to ask another question. So do you want to come on camera and do it?
Sure. Yes, that's good. So recently I started learning OpenCV for machine learning and artificial intelligence, and it's very interesting, but I noticed that there's a lot of racial bias, and there's a lot of racial bias that exists, not only for different ethnicities, but for gender as well. And so I was wondering, as a question, if or what you guys think about what needs to be done or how we could work to solve this issue, because it's pretty prevalent. And it kind of goes back to what Melinda was saying about us being not only the consumers, but also the developers.
That's a very powerful question, Athena. I can take a stab at sharing some thoughts about it. So we, there in certain scenarios, like we all have bias, right? Like we all have, as humans, bias, right? But there's bias that we can work through to help enable better collaboration and ensure that we can work well together and build the society, workplace, community that we want, that is welcoming, inclusive, and supportive of all types of people. So in terms of breaking bias, right, and breaking through that bias, especially as when you work in technology, what you'll find is it's very collaborative, right? Sometimes when you think about technology, you think about like a dude in a hoodie working in a corner, in a dark corner, tapping away at some keyboard. But the reality, is that it's a very collaborative space when you work in technology. There's lots of moving parts with technology. You look at a website and there's hundreds potentially of, especially if it's an enterprise website, there's hundreds of teams and resources, developers doing it. And they come from all walks of life. So the fact that we all have to deal with bias at some point is a reality. I found, just personal experience, that to bridge the gap between the bias or different perspectives is understanding. Like, that's the secret sauce, is when people communicate with each other, they're able to break down those barriers. So actually, even us being here today, representing the beautiful diversity of women in technology, is an effort to break that bias, right? We don't look like the guy in the hoodie, right? Chopping away at the keyboard. Like, there's gorgeous women on this, look at these gorgeous women, smart, beautiful women on a panel. Like, you can be a technologist, you can be girly, you can be all of it's welcome. All of it's beautiful. It's part of the beautiful spectrum of being a human being. But to share thoughts on how, personally, I found the most effective way is, helping educate others to break down that bias, because once they see it, we can't put women in a certain box, right? Look at her, she's doing all types of things that, that doesn't sound like what I was raised to believe about women, how about that angle? So I think representation, us participating in things like this, and being able to share your story is a very powerful way to break down barriers and, help break down that bias that others might have, or perceived bias, from others. Very powerful question. Thank you.
So if I can,
like to, sorry, go you.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna lower the hand. So just really specific to AI, because I do, we do work with AI. We do natural language processing at Nextiva. So Athena, the you having this question, like, we already maybe finding your path within technology. So like, what we need is more people like you interested in solving this, and like, we need you to become one of the AI researchers. And within AI, there is a lot of things that you can do, from machine learning to computer vision to natural language processing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the thing here is that we need you to be part of it. And for you to be part of it, you need, when you go into artificial intelligence, what you're dealing with, it's a lot of data sets. And one thing, imagine, like, you're a woman, but besides that, you are a Latina who speaks Spanish. When you start collaborating more with more of these open source models, you will find that there's not a lot of data sets in Spanish. This is something that I was like discussing internally, and I was figuring out, hey, can we use the same model that we're using for English for Spanish? It turns out that we can, but then you need someone that is going to be able to calibrate, someone that understands probability, statistics, math, and that also speaks the language so that you can make it better. And right now I'm just talking about natural language processing. So what we need is you, like, we need you. We need you to become a research scientist in AI, find your path. That means, continue to look at open source. Maybe what it's good for you or interesting for you is more computer vision or machine learning. So anyway, like, I would just encourage you to continue that path, because yes, like, we are lacking scientists in that field. I became, I went to the dark side, I say the business side and the people side, but I'm rooting for you to help us solve for this.
Thank you for your answer.
Thank you, Ruth. So thank you everybody for being here today. Unfortunately, we have reached the end of our time. I do want to invite everybody to follow TECHNOLOchicas on social media. If you do a search for TECHNOLOchicas, you will find us. And there you can learn more about our events and all the things that we're doing. And you can get to know better the TECHNOLOchicas ambassadors when the individual videos start coming out. So definitely follow us so that you can be the first one to get to know them better. Valentina, any closing words?
Yes, thank you, Yvonne. Yeah, just to say thank you. Thank you so much for being with us today. We are very proud to have you in the TECHNOLOchicas family. Thank you for your work. Thank you for sharing your stories. And thank you for being part of this initiative. Thank you. Thank you, Yvonne, for hosting us.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everyone.